Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended the 35th Cultural Symposium of the Armed Forces on the occasion marking the Martyrs' Day, honoring a number of the Armed Forces martyrs and their families. The President affirmed that the martyrs sacrificed their lives to maintain peace, security, and safety for all Egyptians.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended on Wednesday the 35th Cultural Symposium marking the occasion of the Armed Forces celebration of the Martyr and Veterans Day. Many statesmen and officials took part in this symposium, including Councillor Hanafi Kibeli, Speaker of the Parliament, Councillor Abdel Wahab Abdel Razek, President of the Senate, and Mustafa Madbouli, Prime Minister, Lieutenant General First Mohammad Zaki, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of Defense and Military Production, and leaders of the Armed Forces. During the event, President al-Sisi reiterated the Martyrs' Day is not an occasion to renew sadness, but to honor the sincere sons who sacrificed for the eternal homeland without waiting for a reward in return. The President also added that they offered great sacrifices whose enormous value cannot be properly evaluated except by those who offered to Egypt a martyr or a wounded person, and those who watered the land of this country by their blood and sweat to make it survive with the welfare, peace and prosperity. The head of state asserted that the armed forces and police have implemented a comprehensive operation against terrorism during the past years. He also said that the army and police managed to secure Egypt and its people, narrowing the danger scope and besieging the terrorist elements, as well as killing a large number of them, in addition to their equipment, arms, logistics and support networks. The symposium comes within the framework of the celebrations of Egypt and armed forces on the Day of the Martyr and the Veterans, which coincides with the anniversary of the martyrdom of the Lieutenant General Abdel Manam Riyad, the former Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of War, on the 9th of March 1969. On March 7, the Armed Forces Association of the Veterans and War Victims held a press conference commemorating the Martyr and Veteran Day. The Veterans Association announced the activities of Martyr and Veteran Day for this year, according to a press release issued by the official military spokesperson, Colonel Gharib Abdel Hafiz.
The head of state held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin over the phone on Wednesday, which centered on the latest developments of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. During their conversation, President al-Sisi stressed the significance of boosting a diplomatic dialogue and expressed full support for a political settlement to preserve the security and stability of the two countries. The president expressed Egypt's readiness to work on supporting a political solution on the bilateral and multilateral levels. The head of state affirmed that Egypt follows up the military developments and expressed gratitude to the Russian leadership for securing the safe passage of Egyptian expats from Ukraine. The talks also tackled means of fostering bilateral strategic cooperation in various domains through joint development projects. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed that the world faces increasing inflation that negatively impacts the prices of basic commodities. He made the statement on the sidelines of the Cabinet's weekly meeting on Wednesday, where he followed up the latest economic developments. He reiterated that 35% of Egypt's inflation is due to the world economic situation and that the government seeks to curb the impacts of the world inflation, especially in the agricultural sector. The Prime Minister confirmed that the state has sufficient strategic goods reserves for the coming 4 months and that Egypt is capable to face any challenges, highlighting the need to rationalize consumption in the coming period. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry affirmed on Wednesday that Egypt would continue its support to Palestinians at all levels, notably through efforts to enhance the inner situation in the occupied Palestinian territories and end inter-Palestinian division. This came during the top diplomat's meetings with his Jordanian counterpart Ayman al-Safadi and Palestine's Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki on the sidelines of the 157th session of the Arab League. The foreign ministers stressed the significance of pushing forward negotiations between the Palestinian and Israeli sides with the aim of reaching a just and comprehensive peace, which guarantees the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The ministers said they are looking forward to resuming the peace process, realizing peace, and confronting all obstacles hindering a two-state solution.